Hey boys and girls, it's time for Not Another Pucking Podcast, Comedians on Hockey, with your old pal Chris Roach, the sometimes less than personable Anthony DiDomenico, and the Count of Condescension, John Trueson. And now,
let's talk hockey! Three people are going to see. Christmas, but I want used to think of the movie Major League and like how much I wanted my team to win the World Series.
All right. So now let's get back to hockey a little bit here. How are the Islanders doing? They're picking up a little bit.
Holding their own.
Yeah, they had a couple of games right out of the box that were pretty horrible.
They had back-to-back shutouts.
Yeah.
But you know what I think is, and I was telling AJ about this before. Everything's on the road, but I think what's killing them a little bit is they have these long breaks now. The NHL gave them these breaks in between so they can go home and rest, and so it's not on the road for 25 straight days.
Right.
So like they played, I think it was they played almost a week between games.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was like they played like on a Saturday and they didn't play again, or was it Friday night or Thursday? They didn't play the Saturday, and then it's another break it from Saturday now to Thursday. So like all these big breaks in between, you're playing teams now that are they're playing there every other night.
Yeah, the Rangers playing pretty consistently. I heard, now I haven't even really looked at the schedule that closely, but during COVID they did that sort of thing where you played Pittsburgh 3 games in a row or something like that just to keep it, the travel tight and everything. They said they were going to incorporate some of that in the future. Did they just go back to a regular schedule?
Yeah, they're back to a regular schedule because they're playing. Now you're playing every team again. So you're playing, the West Coast, Canada, where before you were just playing your division. So it was almost like set up like baseball.
Yeah.
Where like baseball comes into town, you do a 3-game series, 4-game series, and you play the majority of your games against your division.
Yeah.
Like I think in baseball they play like 19 games against your division opponents. But now with now you can play every team. I like that though. I think you should play a majority of your games against your division. This way that that's a true division winner. I'm like, I don't really care about playing, the Ducks in February. Like that doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
I'd rather play teams like the Rangers and and the Devils and the Penguins and these teams that you're going to face in the playoffs, and plus you're fighting for a division.
Yeah, but they're also one of the considerations is they're looking to get the marquee guys into all the different
I get it.
markets, and stuff like that. Like the Rangers, like it or not, are like a draw around the country because there's a lot of relocated New Yorkers and stuff.
Yeah.
So teams like when the Rangers come into town because they get a little extra kick in the ass with the attendance.
No, they are. They are the. I'll give them that. They are. A draw for now. I mean, the Islanders. Listen, they keep winning.
The Islanders are a good, solid team, and I think that at the end of this season, it's going to be very exciting. I think we're going to have at some point a really great Ranger-Islander series.
I can only hope. It's going to make me have 7 heart attacks a day.
Like the olden days before AJ was born.
Yeah.
Before I think I was born. But yeah, that's I want that though. As a hockey fan, you think about how great would it be for this? Imagine that the Eastern Conference Final, Rangers Islanders.
Yeah.
Couldn't get any better than that.
Yep.
Unless they were playing for the cup itself. But
yeah, which used to be possible, but not anymore.
Yeah, when they did the whole.
Yeah, they just broke down the whole league by best record versus worst record.
And now with travel,
1 through
they can't
16
do that.
too.
Yep. Those were the days. All right, John. Before we go on too far, we're gonna touch on the big story this week, which is the one that we have to be careful about.
What, Roach being unprofessional?
Well, no, that's
okay.
There you go.
The most unprofessional professional in Roach?
Well, the most professional member of the crew here, obviously, is AJ.
Yes.
I believe we all know. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what happened this week, AJ?
Very rough stuff with former top prospect for the Chicago Blackhawks, Kyle Beach. His story came out about him being sexually assaulted by one of the video coaches for Chicago while he was a Black Ace there in the 2010 Cup run. Brad Aldrich was the coach. Just a rough story if anyone heard it. Very graphic and it's not good.
It seems so odd because first of all, Kyle Beach was known as kind of a tough kid.
Yeah,
he had a reputation as a fighter. I remember the Rangers picked up his rights for a while. I checked them out, and he had a reputation for toughness. So you would think he just clocked the guy in the head, but I guess they have so much power over you at that point. You've spent your whole life playing to get to that level. And you're just so afraid that the guy in charge is going to say, you're out. Your career is done.
Yeah, I also think it's, being a tough guy like that, when that stuff happens to you,
Yeah.
I don't think you want to say anything in that aspect as far as like, you don't want to take that toughness away from you, and you want to just, I can imagine like if it was me, like, as a man, like, if you come out and say this, it makes you, not that you are weak, but your own perception of yourself, like you let this happen to you.
Right.
And he probably, like you said, thought like, this is my career. I don't want not to play hockey. I don't want anything to happen to this team. And, you think about it, because what would happen is what the repercussions, what's happening now, firing, stepping down,
Yeah, it's
in the
hilarious.
middle of a cup run.
It's just the fact that like the Panthers were off to the most rocking start they've ever had.
Well, that's what I said. It's good for the Islanders.
Goodbye, Joel Quenneville.
Quenneville's out. It's good
who
for
was
the
the
Islanders.
head coach at that point in time.
Yeah.
Now I didn't see that much about it. Did he what did he know about it? Did they say anything or?
They had meetings. He was involved. The GM of the Winnipeg Jets, Kevin Cheveldayoff, very hard name.
There you go.
He was involved, but he's still with Winnipeg. They haven't fired him or let him go yet. Stan Bowman was in there, who has been let go, and a few other guys that have been there have been let go. And they all knew about it because they all had meetings with it.
What about the Players Association? Were they?
Yes, Donald Fair, I believe his name is. He was involved, and he did nothing about it, apparently.
That's insane. The Players Association heard about it and did nothing about it. That's crazy.
Yeah, sad.
Wow.
They're more worried about winning than this guy's well-being.
It's always the case. I mean, every time a story like this comes out, no matter what level, whether it be from high school to the pros, they don't want to disrupt the team. They want to keep, keep it under wraps, keep it in-house. But like, that's serious. That's, you think about just it's someone's life that, they have to go through this the rest of their life now. You come up playing a sport you love, you get drafted by, an original 6 team, which is, if you're a hockey player, that's a big thing. You're in a great city. They won the cup that year. I mean, he couldn't have been it had to have been like tearing him apart while that whole run was going on. I mean, here you are now, you win the Stanley Cup, and they still let that guy attend the ceremonies, even after they fought. He was let go.
That's crazy.
Like, they made him step down, but he was still at the Stanley Cup ceremony. So here you are now, you achieved the pinnacle of hockey, and you have somebody there that did this to you. So, I mean, that's, who knows where this kid would have been if that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Maybe he's still in the NHL. Maybe he's one of the, all-time, best players in the league right now, or had a great career. He kind of fell off, and I think that this has definitely had to do with it.
Well, I hope they give him a boatload of money and get rid of some of these imbeciles that covered the whole thing up. That's crazy. It's completely nuts. Now, this was 2010?
Yeah, 2010.
Oh, man. And, at what point, where was the Me Too movement then? I mean, had it, really started in earnest yet at that point?
No.
So it was still, stuff was getting covered up
That
even
was
in entertainment.
I'm trying to think when that year that was, but that was started with the whole Harvey Weinstein stuff.
Wasn't that 2017?
Probably around there, 2016, 2017, and wrestling had a big one too.
Really?
Yeah, it was a list of wrestlers that had were accused of sexual assault. Matt Riddle was actually on that list.
Really?
Yeah, and some people actually let go by the WWE just for being on that list.
Really? For assaulting fans or assaulting other wrestlers?
Both. Women, they call them how the name for
groupies.
Groupies, they're like ring rats.
Okay.
So for ring rats, and then other wrestlers, like people trying to come up the card. People use their influence and be like, okay, and it just, it happens in Hollywood. I guess it happens in everywhere. It's happening in sports.
Yeah, and anytime that somebody has a decided power advantage, it can become problematic.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, I never heard that about the wrestling thing. I did hear about the bullying situations. That
I forget what it was called. It came out, but it came out at a time, and it was absolutely insane. And some like anything else, there's wrongful accusers. There's but again, when it's such a mass amount of accusations, you're almost like guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was a whole list that they had to go through. But even like guys like Enzo Amore was fired from the WWE.
Yeah.
But I think that was they were just looking for any excuse to fire him. But he was accused of sexual assault. Mm-hmm. He was found innocent.
Is he still like an Independence now? Where is he?
Yeah, no, he's in the Independent. He's doing well.
Mm-hmm.
Because he can talk. He's very entertaining.
Yeah.
That was they. I'll get into wrestling, but they definitely missed the boat with those two.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
It happens. So now let's get back to hockey a little bit here. No, what are your takeaways from the beginning of the the first almost 10 games of the Islanders season?
It's still early. I mean,
Yeah.
I know I had it down for later, but Chara has not looked good. But I see people on social media wanting him kicked off the team and all that. It's 6 or 7 games. Let's calm down.
Yeah.
I trust Barry Trotz. Everyone should trust Barry Trotz right now. Give it a few more games. If it's still bad, bring up Robin Salo. I've been a big advocate for this guy for years now, so he's doing really good in the AHL too.
Okay, that's cool. I mean, is Chara just looks slow and?
Yeah, he's 44, so he's slow. He gets walked around a little bit. But people are blaming him for penalties. This is my one thing with him. He's getting people online, idiots online, are complaining about penalties. When at the time of the penalty, they're like, oh, that's a terrible call. So how are you going to blame him for a penalty, but also call it a terrible call?
Right.
Because people are
pick
idiots.
a side.
That's exactly what they are. I mean, it's...
Well, it's social media in general is the downfall of our society.
Yeah.
It's like every knucklehead with a bad opinion now feels obligated to post it, and it's absurd.
The Chara does look slow, but I mean, I'm all for having him on the team. I think it's going to be huge down the stretch, come playoff time.
Yeah, you want a veteran presence. You want some guys that have some gravitas in the
He's
locker
a tough
room.
guy too. I mean, you have him
Yes.
out there. He's gonna protect Barzal and guys like that on the ice.
Yep, you see a whole different thing, when Reeves is playing for the Rangers. There's just a couple of weeks ago, some guy comes barreling into the corner, a little hit, little pushing and shoving. Reeves just skates up, and everybody's like, "Oh, stop! don't do anything." It just has to be there to sort of keep everybody in line.
And I think once they're playing a regular schedule, I think it's going to be a big difference for them too. And this is going to help them. I've said it even before the season. This is going to help them, come down the stretch, come playoff time, because they're playing every game right now is a road game. Mm-hmm. That has to bring the team together. You have to learn how to win on the road, which is hard. I mean, there's a reason why you look at, the end of the year. Usually the success is you play 500 on the road and you play 700-800 at home. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's how a winning season's done. Mm-hmm. And if they can pull that off, they can come back to the new arena around 500. I'd be happy.
Yeah, no, that makes complete sense, and it is crazy that they have to start on the road for how many games are they on the road?
12 or 13.
Yeah, I mean, they don't play until the 21st, right? The 20th,
Wow.
21st?
Yeah, the 20th, I'm pretty sure.
That's craziness.
Which is the hottest ticket in town.
Yeah.
You going?
No, it's the hottest ticket.
I think I'm going to go the next day to Toronto. Welcome back, Johnny.
I'm going to try, if get to a game or so. We should even I told Roach, we should just
go to the
just
the
hang out
parking lot.
in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And actually spread the word of the podcast.
Yeah, do some interview some fans.
Yeah, I'm busy. I got to premiere that day. I'm doing Thanksgiving at the Walters house. It's a sequel, because the first one did so well.
Oh man, yeah, the Rangers look pretty good. We were discussing before they are learning one of the most important lessons that you can learn in the NHL, which is how to hang on to a lead, how to win those close games. Because there was a time where if they were up, a goal or two going into the third period, you were sitting there going, all right, how are we going to blow this one?
In the Capuano years with the Islanders, nothing annoyed me more than those games, because they would have 3-goal leads and they'd lose at a shootout.
Yeah, the good teams hang on to those close games, and the Rangers at this point, their quote unquote big guys have not really shown their stuff yet. It's a lot of Kreider is obviously doing a great job in front of the net, causing some trouble, some mayhem in front of the net, if you will, and he's got a bunch of goals on the power play. But generally, the first couple of lines have been somewhat stagnant. But some of these other guys, Sammy Blais and Gaudreau and all these guys, they've changed the way that the game looks out there. It's interesting. And obviously, Shesterkin has kept them in virtually every game that he's been in. He's been sensational.
Yeah, he really has been.
So that's pretty. It's going to be a fun season. That's all I'm saying.
Well, Islander Ranger games this year are definitely going to be very exciting.
When's the first Islander Ranger game coming up?
I don't think it's till...
It's the third game at UBS. I believe it's November 23rd, if I had to guess.
All right. Very cool.
I know my friend got free tickets to that game.
How do you do that?
Friend of a friend.
Ah, son of a...
I know. I asked him for one. Didn't get the call up though.
You didn't get the call?
No, I did not get the call.
You better talk to him.
I know.
Trying to find out when the first game is.
I believe it is the 23rd. Get double check real quick though.
Yeah.
24th.
24th. Yep.
All right.
November 24th.
Close.
Mark it down. Thanksgiving. Close to Thanksgiving.
Nice.
You know, my movie's coming out. You never go see it. You know, I'll be at the On the Ranger game. I can't do the podcast because I got to sit in Celebrity Row and hope someone recognized me from 5 years ago.
I got to tell you, though, they love Roach at MSG.
Yeah, he's a big dumb idiot. Of course I like him.
Why can't you be nice?
I'm not, because you know what? It's just a total lack of respect for anybody else's time. I got things going on too. I'm busy moving right now, you know, and I take time out of my day to come do the podcast. And he's packing. What are you packing? I'm packing a house. What are you packing? I'm going up and down the stairs with 10 bags on my shoulder, bringing things up and down to my apartment. What is he packing?
He has to get a couple of friends together to move his hat.
Packing. I look at packing. The worst excuses at 4 in the It's aggravated.
I like when Anthony's aggravated. It's very entertaining.
Yeah, it is.
So since we're already in we stepped into the around the world scenario, what else is going on in the great coast to coast hockey situation there, AJ?
Well, first off, with the New York Rangers, we got Adam Fox re-signing. Good Long Island boy.
I like that.
7 years, $66.5 million. A lot of money, 9.5 per year. He's worth it though. He's probably the best defenseman in the league, if not him or Kale McCarr.
And how old is he?
24. If I had to guess.
So that's not a bad contract.
23 or 24.
Yeah, so
unless he goes DP